The process has the beginning, but has no end. We are going to come to the moon forever.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
This week, on the Tower of Technobabble, the meatbags share some big news about an upcoming event, and then look at secret space fleets, Russia's next annexation target, the search for buried treasure that no one wanted in the first place, and lies told by insane rednecks to achingly cute little girls. Welcome to the Tower of Technobabble.
Okay, so guys, you know my bathroom has been out of action for like 3 weeks now.
When you say out of action, what do you mean by that? That's sort of suggestive.
I understand, I get what you're saying, but basically I've had some builder-type guys. They've been in here doing all matter of whatnot to the pipes and stuff, you know.
Drilling and cleaning.
Lots of drilling, tons of drilling. There's so many drilling. Yeah, lots of lubricating, lots of things being put into smaller things, you know. So, but basically, the upside is I haven't been able to use my shower, so I've had to use a shower off-site. And so I joined a gym. You know, one of those $10 a month gyms, just so I could have somewhere to shower at night. But I don't fit in. Okay, here, let me give you an imitation of the guys in the locker room whenever I'm trying to, you know, towel off. Here's my imitation of the guys in the locker room. Sports, 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 sports. Oh, sports, 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 sport. What are you, Dave? What are you doing?
Have you seen the cat?
No, I'm talking about sports.
Well, you remember that cat in the bag that we had last week?
Yeah, we should never keep cats in bags.
It gnawed through the bag, and I can't find it.
Oh, the cat got out of the bag, literally?
The cat's out of the bag.
Thank God. I was rooting for the cat the whole time.
Well,
I noticed you didn't help the cat, but you were just rooting for him.
Well, I was cheering from the sidelines.
How do you know?
Go!
I happen to know for a fact that Paul baked a tiny little quiche, and he hid a cat-sized fingernail file in it, and he mailed it to the cat, and the cat's been slowly, over the past week, chiseling his way out of the bag. So.
Nope, it's burlap sack and looked like it was gnawed out of desperation.
Well, because he had no way of getting the quiche delivered, so he had to make a mail hole.
I know, and quiche spoils so quickly, too. So,
Yeah,
you really got to... So...
Seeing as the cat's out of the bag, I guess we should tell our big news, right?
Right.
Yes.
I'm pregnant, you're the father, and I'm going to kill all three of us. That's not the news, no.
Although that is big news.
That would be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, bowel-clenching move.
Big news. We got big news, and I'm actually trying to figure out how I'm going to share this news with you now, because I don't really. It's so big. I'm having a hard time conjuring the words.
Towerbot, give us some triumphant music.
Let's put it this way. It's not news in the sense of something has happened. It's potential big news.
Well, we're attempting big news. How about that?
We are attempting big news. We are trying to get noticed by
our wives.
Would you call this a stunt? I don't know.
It is a stunt.
It is a stunt. It's not an Evel Knievel kind of stunt.
Okay, here, I'll give it a little bit of context. Ever since I was a kid, you'd be in your homeroom or whatever, and you would have nothing to do, so you'd flip through the books that were on the bookshelves. This is back before the internet, and they had books and shelves in the classrooms.
They were everywhere. It was beautiful.
There was invariably a book of the Guinness Book of World Records. It was always a big, thick paperback book, and you would flip through it and just see all the crazy world records that people had tried to do and would achieve. And my favorite was always the picture of the world's fattest twins riding on the tiny little motorcycles. You know?
Now, were the motorcycles tiny, or were they just that big?
I think that they were tiny to make them look bigger. But they held the record for being the world's fattest twins. And for whatever reason, the photo was always of them on their tiny little motorcycles.
It's a classic photo.
Yeah.
And I used to think, it'd be great if I could do a world record someday and hopefully not be an obese, smelly man. I got halfway there, but
Wait until we find your twin.
fast forward 50 years to today, and we've got our little podcast here, and we were wondering basically this was at one of our production meetings whenever we were trying to think of ways to expand the podcast. Maybe
we were being
notice.
professional. We were pretending at being professional.
And invariably, the subject of overweight twins came up, and it led us to think, Guinness Book of World Records. I wonder if there's a record for podcasting, ?
And there isn't. But
That's right.
but there is one for longest uninterrupted live webcast.
Ooh, that sounds like something that could be in our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Which is what we are gonna attempt.
Right.
There goes the cat, fleeing out of the bag.
Going off to Sarah McLachlan to report abuse.
Yeah.
All right, we should provide some details.
Okay.
Yes, let's.
The previous record was broken a few years ago by Susan Baroncini Moe. I'm not going to spell it because I don't have it in front of me. And she went for 36 hours and I want to say like 38 minutes.
We're coming for you, Mo.
We're coming for you. So we're going to shoot for a round 40.
Yeah.
48 is what I thought.
No,
Well,
40.
40?
We'll see if we've fallen over yet. And
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure by hour 18 I will be crying. So let's
Which
shoot
will be
for
caught on
40.
air.
So basically, there is a convention coming up in the town of Louisville, Kentucky. It's called Wonderfest, and we've talked to the guy who runs it, and he's agreed because I think he wants to see what kind of wackiness is going to happen from this. And
Or he
we're
wants to
gonna-
see three grown men melt down.
Yeah, we're going to have a table set up, hopefully next to the life-size model of Robbie the robot. And we're going to attempt to do a podcast for 48 hours straight.
40 hours.
Starting 40. Okay, I keep thinking 48. I don't know why.
Okay, we'll do 40, and you can.
You can
be
do
the
the
On
anchor
last
man.
it. Gotcha. Well, we don't want to make it easy for some other little upstart podcast to come in and steal our thunder, man.
Well, that's why we're going for 40 instead of 37.
But that's so
But
much.
anyway,
Okay.
Anyway, so we're shooting for this. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully we can pull all of it together because there's a lot of requirements for it to be officially recognized. So,
Oh yeah.
Officially.
yeah.
Official Guinness stuff.
But I think
will
we're still
happen.
going to do it regardless of whether it's sanctioned by Guinness or not.
But we think it will be.
But we think it will be. Yeah.
We are confident we can do
We
this.
are currently in the process of dotting all of our T's, crossing all of our I's, getting everything straightened up. And
You
this
know
is
how-
gonna start what?
You know how you get those things in the mail that say you're pre-approved for the Visa Gold credit card? Well, it's like that. We've been pre-approved by Guinness to make the attempt.
Yes.
We've had official word.
So, if you happen to be in Louisville, you can come to the Wonderfest convention and cheer us on, or even better, sit there and give us something to talk about. Or
Dear God,
you'll be
please.
able to listen to it, streaming live for 40 or 48 hours or whatever the hell we're going to do. And I believe Conduit, we have that figured out. We have a site that they'll be able to go to. That we'll
Yes,
link to and all
we
that. Okay.
TowerBot is in the process of hacking into the NSA and getting us some primo bandwidth.
Just kidding, NSA.
Yeah, just kidding. Just kidding.
Anyway, so
It's-
that starts on May 30th, and we will be going to June 1st. Solid.
basically this is season 4.5. We're going to do.
That's right. We're going to do an entire season in one weekend.
But basically, I've got enough content to cover maybe 2-3 hours. So I'm sure the other guys have maybe 2-3 hours. So if you have
I've got
any
47
ideas,
minutes.
if you have any ideas, any questions that you would like TowerBot to answer, anything at all that you would like to hear us talk about or ponder, please send us an email at towergram@gmail.com. Make it a very long email so we can read it slowly and cover a lot more time.
Hour 23, we will be doing meditations.
Yes.
More details coming. We'll be plugging this. We'll be pimping this. Don't worry.
Absolutely. Look for more information on Facebook and/or Twitter.
And please, if you're in Louisville and you're interested in coming to this convention, it's called Wonderfest. When do you guys look up the email address real quick?
It's wonderfest.com.
Wonderfest.com. Okay. And it's basically it's all about models and spaceships and movie props. It's fun stuff.
It's basically a convention for the people in the special effects trade, essentially.
Yes. It's exactly the place you would find us at.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyway,
all right.
Moving along.
Well, I guess we should continue, or I could start working on my cosplay costume, but I guess we can continue. Okay.
Tonight on
Shhhhh Diaries.
Hey,
Right.
we should also point out we are working on a way to have TowerBot be part of this too. We just need to find a extension cord long enough to, get him there. So
Well, we might be able to put his neural net on a laptop or something.
okay, it'll be like the Dr. Theopolis version of TowerBot, right?
Not Tweaky.
Not Tweaky.
Oh, Paul, that means you're Tweaky.
I can't find the letter. Where's the letter? Treadshoe Diaries coming up.
Did
Here
the cat get it?
Hang on. Wait. Here we go. Treadshoe
This
Diaries.
is the kind of professional podcasting you can expect for 48 hours straight.
Hey.
So.
You will expect me to lose many things over 40 hours. Okay, so it says here, Dear TowerBot, can a Jedi lightsaber cut through Superman? What if it's a red lightsaber like Darth Vader uses? Doesn't red light take away Superman's powers?
Oh, yeah.
Mike in Twin Pines, Georgia. Actually, I've never heard that before. Is that true?
Good question, Mike. Well, yeah. Remember at the end of Superman 2, he gets in the booth with the light from the red sun, and Krypton takes away his powers so he can be a husband to Lois Lane, Margot Kidder.
No. I don't remember that at all.
Do you use air quotes around be a husband?
Yeah,
Is that the PG way of saying that?
kinda. Yeah.
What are you implying? Superman was gay? I don't understand.
Well, if he tried to do it with Lois Lane when he was still super, he'd probably kill her. So.
Yeah. Did you ever read that short essay, "Men of Steel, Women of Kleenex"? It's worth a read.
Okay. Well, anyway, what do you say, TowerBot?
Dear Mike, that's a very geek-centric question you pose. Let me take a crack at it, and then I'll tell you why it's a dumb question. Superman isn't vulnerable to red light. He's vulnerable to kryptonite, which is a radioactive substance created by the destruction of Krypton, the planet of his birth. Kryptonite comes in various varieties, green kryptonite being the most deadly to him. Another variety, red kryptonite, causes unpredictable changes in his physical form or mental state. By your reasoning, a green lightsaber would be the most deadly to him, while a red lightsaber might make him a 12-foot-tall idiot. As I said, though, your initial premise is flawed, so the color is a moot point. The question is, can Superman's skin resist any lightsaber? It depends on what era Superman you're talking about, because his power level has fluctuated wildly. The Superman from 1930s would probably be cut in half by one. The Superman from the 1970s could fly through stars, so it probably wouldn't have any effect on him. The current Superman is too busy shagging Wonder Woman, so I doubt you could find him to test the theory.
Really?
And now, as promised, here's why your question is dumb. Superman is published by DC Comics, a division of Warner Communications. Lightsabers are a product of the Star Wars universe, which was owned by Lucasfilm, and is now owned by Disney. Superman and lightsabers will never be in the same place at the same time, except at Comic-Con, and those aren't the real McCoy. Dr. McCoy, BTW, is from the Star Trek universe, which is owned by Paramount. Since Disney also owns Marvel Comics, a better, smarter question would have been, could a lightsaber cut through Iron Man's armor, Captain America's shield, or Thor's guts? I know the answers to all of these. It's a shame you didn't ask. Love, TowerBot.
Well,
that was cold robot logic right there.
I kind of feel as though there's a bit more to be answered.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, you should watch Superman 2 over the weekend, Paul.
I should. I feel so out of the loop now. Although I have seen Superman 2, but I think it was probably when it came out.
Yes, he and Lois Lane do it on a silver beanbag, as I recall.
What
a space beanbag?
Is Superman 2 the one with the 4 people from the other?
Yeah, General
3.
What was it? Kang?
3?
What's his name?
Zod. Neo before Zod.
Neo before Zod. That's right.
Who the hell is General Kang?
That's right. That's the one where he crushes a piece of coal and makes a diamond.
Nope.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know.
I'll look it up. Anyway, you guys carry on.
Might have been Superman
I'll
3.
Look it up. Is this a Superman 3?
I don't know.
Damn it. Go ahead. Crushes coal into diamond. Somebody slap me!
Guys, you know, I love these people. The people in our podcast audience. The audience. Some would say I love them a little bit too much. But, you know, last week, I left them on a cliffhanger. I started to drop the bombshell that despite America's failure to maintain a viable space program, we could all take comfort in the fact that planet Earth has a secret space fleet.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Yeah, I know, and I kind of left it on a cliffhanger. So I'll just finish up my little report here, and just to let the audience back away from the cliff that they were hanging on, because, you know, I love them, and it's drafty on that cliff. They might catch cold. So, anywho.
They should borrow your shawl.
Yeah. If they were here, I'd give them a shawl off my back. But anyway. Okay, now, here's the bombshell. Since approximately 1980, a secret international space fleet, codenamed Solar Warden, has been in operation.
A.K.A. Commander Ashtar.
I think it might be Commander Ashtar, because he's the only one I can think that could organize something of this massive scale. Okay? Now, how do we know this? You're probably wondering. Well, do you guys remember Gary McKinnon?
No.
No.
He was the guy who hacked into the U.S. Space Command computers back in 2002, and he learned of the existence of, quote, non-terrestrial officers and, quote, fleet-to-fleet transfers in a secret program called Solar Warden. Now this guy, I think he was in Britain. And at the time, President Bush called it the biggest military computer hack of all time, and he stood to face prison of up to 70 years if they could just extradite him from the UK. But blah blah. Well, anyway, the point is, McKinnon found out about ships within the Solar Warden program, and they are right now they have about 8 cigar-shaped craft, each longer than 2 football fields. And there's about 43 smaller scout ships. Now, the Solar Warden Space Fleet operates under the Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command Space Operations Division, also known as SWNSC-SO, formerly the Naval Space Command, headquartered on the Atlantic coast of the USA, where there are approximately 300 personnel involved. And get this, the number is rising. Now, Solar Warden is said to be made up from the U.S. Aerospace Black Projects contractors, with some contributions from Canada and the UK, Italy, Austria. But the point is, it's run by the USA, and it is operated from secret military bases such as Area 51 in Nevada, USA. So I can feel good that while America may not on paper have a space program, we've got Solar Warden going on in the background, man.
Okay, so my question is, A, how do we know this isn't full of crap? And B, why do we have it?
We know it's not full of crap because the U.S. has not bothered to extradite that guy from the U.K. Because if they did, and if they put him on trial, that would mean that they would have to, go into court and acknowledge the fact that he's spilling all this dirt about Solar Warden, and the U.S. doesn't want to even go there. So that's your proof.
Is it the evidence of absence or the absence of evidence?
Exactly. Now, part of the Space Fleet's mission is to prevent rogue countries and terrorist groups from using space to conduct warfares or fire from space on Earthbound targets. So, because the Space Fleet has the job of being the space police within our solar system, the program is called Solar Warden. So, doesn't that make you feel good? Doesn't that make you feel proud to be American?
Wait, when did this start? Are we talking about space cigars?
Yeah, 1980. Yeah.
1980?
That's when Solar Warden started. But if you listen to John Lear, NASA has had a secret space corps going all the way back to 1962 when they started going to the moon. And apparently they landed on Mars in 1966.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that they landed on the moon in 1962?
Yeah, you guys know who John Lear is, right?
Yeah.
Dave, do you know who John Lear is?
Well, do explain for the audience.
Okay, John Lear is a retired pilot, and he's the son of the guy who invented the Learjet, actually. But he's also infamous as one of the brave heroes who brought Area 51 to national attention back in the early 1990s.
Before it was an actual place.
Before it was on the map. Prior to John Lear and a few other guys like Bob Lazar, nobody had any clue that there was a secret Air Force base in the Nevada desert testing alien tech. And I think it's safe to say that John Lear made Art Bell, which in turn led to things like X-Files and Will Smith, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, back in 2003, John Lear was
going to Miami. All right.
John Lear was on Art Bell's radio show, and he revealed this disclosure statement that NASA has a secret space corps. And I'll just give you a bullet list of highlights. Okay, you guys want a good bullet lister?
We love bullet lists.
I love bullet lists too.
Okay, a fourth astronaut died in the Apollo 1 fire of 1967, but it wasn't made public because he belonged to the secret astronaut corps. Okay?
Where was he sitting in the capsule?
He was curled up. He was curled up underneath Gus Grissom's feet, and Gus was famous for being the smallest astronaut. That's why, because he had foot room to fit the guy in. Okay, bullet point 2. The secret program actually started going to the moon in 1962. And it landed on Mars in 1966 using covert anti-gravity technology.
What?
Huh? Now, publicized space missions such as the space shuttle are actually a cover-up for what is actually going on.
Actually?
Huh? Actually. Now, also kept from the public, you, me, Dave, everybody, is the fact that there is life out there similar to ours on most of the planets in the solar system, even Pluto. For example,
They all have
Mars.
shawls, I bet.
Mars has a population of 660 million, living mostly underground where you can't see them. Venus is actually, quote, green and beautiful, end quote. And the sky is blue on both Mars and our moon for some reason. And also, of course, this old favorite, the Earth is a farm for harvesting souls, and when people die, their souls travel to the moon where they are processed by a huge machine, most likely a glass tower spotted by Richard C. Hoagland in NASA photos, which erases their memory and sends them back to Earth to be reincarnated. So there you go. I shouldn't feel bad about the non-existent space program, about NASA's inability to launch astronauts to the International Space Station, because it's all a ruse. It's all a cover for our brave secret astronaut corps run by Commander Ashtar in the Space Warden Space Fleet.
Is he running it? Am I hearing that right, or did you just make that up?
I don't know. He might be the scientific advisor to Space Warden.
I'm gonna write him I'm writing him a letter right now.
This is one of those stories that every time you tell it, you add something at the end.
Dear Commander Ashtar, please, if you can, clear up these questions. Oh God, questions about project. What is it called?
Solar Warden.
Solar Warden.
Solar Warden.
He'll know what you mean.
And also ask
Counting
him,
on it.
And also ask him, P.S., do I have a soul and is it recycled?
P.S.
So one of those new grass-fed souls, or is it recycled?
And,
by the way,
and have
I
you
can
sold
I
it
can
yet?
give you guys a footnote of actual news, which will make this story all that more vital.
Paul Mueller.
And it has to do with Russia. This is an actual news story.
Okay.
Russia's deputy prime minister has announced Russia plans to annex the moon by 2030.
Annex it? Screw
Annex.
Russia!
This news came out barely 6 weeks after they rolled into the Crimean Peninsula, so you just know that they got their eyes on the moon. And if I can quote the deputy prime minister, by the way, I promised you, Dave, last week I would do a Russian accent, and I never did, so I'm going to try it now.
Awesome.
Okay. According to Russian deputy prime minister Dmitry Rogozin, we are going to come to the moon forever. Forever.
Did they actually write the ha 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 ha?
Actually, I put that in. That's a little editorial comment from me. TV's repeater. Internet's repeater. Okay, I'll just give you a few little factoids, and then we can move on. They plan on establishing a permanent moon base. It's become one of their top priorities because they're kind of making a dig at the U.S. space program because the last time NASA went was in 1972, apparently, and they have no plans to return. Russia, on the other hand, has a series of missions to the moon in the planning stages, which will first be robot rovers scheduled to launch in 2016, which will then transition into manned missions, and it will ultimately culminate in a series of manned Russian moon missions, which will build a permanent lunar base towards the end of 2030. And again, if I can quote, the process has the beginning but has no end. We are going to come to the moon forever.
Dear Commander Ashtar, are you in favor of Russia inhabiting the moon forever? ... Question mark?
By the way, the most interesting thing I learned from this story. Okay, the name of America's space center is Cape Canaveral. Mm-hmm. The name of Russia's place is I'm not going to be able to pronounce it right. It's Roscosmos. Roscosmos. It looks like Roscosmos. Them dang old Duke boys are going on the moon.
Roscosmos.
We gotta get up there.
Cosmos.
Roscosmos. Yeah. So, anyway. So again, to sum up, I got no reason to complain about spaceships because we have a secret astronaut fleet up there right now, living on Venus, protecting us all. Give thanks to Ashtar.
It is. It's Ashtar. I can't believe it's come around. You know,
he's got his fingers in everything, man. He's that important, you know?
I'm going to publish a series of letters to Ashtar, so maybe we can get a response.
Come on, Flash.
Hey, Flash! Didn't the first thing the Russia sent up into space was a dog, right?
No, but...
Oh. I thought they set up a dog first.
Well, the first thing they set up was a dog. The first thing was
the first Earthling was a dog.
The first organism that went up was a dog. Poor dog.
Yeah, he died there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing that came back alive was probably a monkey.
No, I heard that they had trained the dog to press a button which had a little picture of a bone on it, which actually made the rocket go back down into the Earth and land safely.
But actually, the button injected like cyanide into his body.
Yeah, and then after he got back, he went to a farm.
Yeah.
Where he lives to this very day.
Yeah.
The
Happy and chasing rabbits.
Commander Ashtar's farm.
Full of cyanide.
God, that is so sad. All right. Where do we go from here?
There is no sanctuary.
You gotta tell them! Silent breed is people!
We'll hide Rudolph's nose.
I forgot all about that. The biggest conspiracy of all was we're going to hide Rudolph's nose so
That's
he'll be a normal
Yeah.
dude.
Well, hi, Rudolph's nose. See?
Well, hide Rudolph's nose.
Santa was in on it.
Jerk.
But are you ready for adventure?
I'm ready for space adventure.
I'm standing by for adventure.
It's not space adventure. We're going the other direction.
Okay.
We're going to follow an intrepid band of documentary filmmakers and weekend archaeologists as they try to discover the truth behind one of the questions that has vexed geek culture for decades.
Oh, will lightsaber cut through Wonder Woman?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Did Atari really bury millions of copies of the game E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial in a landfill dump in New Mexico?
Oh, really? Do you have the
Yes.
answer? Do you have the answer? Do you have the answer?
Well, the answer is coming.
Okay.
I
wanna
need
know.
context. I need context because I'm not into video games. Explain
Actually,
this.
no, I want to know the answer right now. Can you tell me the answer?
Here. I'll
Whisper it into my ear.
I'll go in the corner and you tell him, Dave. Okay.
We'll know by the end of the month.
Oh, damn it! All right. Okay.
Want to tap Ben on the shoulder there?
Ben.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back. All right.
All right. But we do need a little background.
Okay.
Come with me back to the year 1982.
Okay, yes.
2 years into the solar warden program.
Satanists were rampant.
Exactly. Actually, Warner Communications, which, hey, that's a call back to the letter. Awesome. Warner Communications owned the company Atari, and they were in high cotton. They bought it for $28 million in 1976, and it was then a $2 billion concern in the early 80s. Atari owned 80% of the video game market, and this accounted for 70% of Warner's operating profits.
By the way, 1982. I'm having trouble remembering what were the big video games that Atari was pushing back then.
They just went through Asteroids. Pac-Man had just come out.
So this was still really early days, really early
Yeah.
graphics.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
82
This was
very
the-
early.
Yeah, this was the Atari 2600. Basically, the game that the game system that almost everybody had when you were a kid.
Where you had one stick and one button, and everybody liked it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
They were called joysticks for a reason.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time. Anyway, in the fourth quarter of 82, they were saying that Atari's expected earnings was going to be 50% increase over the previous year. The sky was the limit. Unfortunately, it all started to come crashing down for a number of different reasons. Some of them were Atari's top programmers were basically not being paid well and given almost zero respect from Warner, so they were defecting left and right.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Atari was selling the games consoles as cheaply as possible to make up the profit with video games, kind of the give away the razors, sell the blades
Right.
situation.
Right.
Unfortunately, there were several companies that popped up that were also selling games, so that cut into Atari's sales. And also, they were better because all of Atari's people left. Activision came out of that,
Yes, Activision. Yes.
by the way. Still to this very day, a ongoing concern. Then in 1982, the Atari console was getting really old, and Intellivision and ColecoVision were nipping at its heels. So they decided to swing for the fences.
Okay.
They had just come off the Pac-Man video game port to the home system, and that hadn't gone well because it sucked.
Right.
Well,
Right.
what do you mean it's
It was
not,
terrible.
Not until Miss Pac-Man came out did they.
Right. Miss Pac-Man's much better, but Pac-Man's animation was jerky, its moving images flickered annoyingly, and the Pac-Man character produced a grating bang sound.
That didn't come until later.
Right.
See,
exactly.
I was still playing Candyland with my little brother in the back room there in those days, but never mind.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw, with your steam-driven television. Anyway,
we couldn't even afford a black and white TV. We just had a black TV.
it was black and whatever the color monitor.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
Anyway.
what happened?
So they decided to swing for the fences. The biggest movie that they could find was E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial.
Which was used. I do remember that.
It was huge. Yes.
Yeah.
So in June of 1982, the chief executive officer of Warner Communications, Steve Ross, got with Steven Spielberg and Universal Pictures to get the rights to that so they can make a game out of it. They spent upwards of $25 million to get the licensing, which was unheard of at the time. This was before all that.
Yeah.
So, but they got it, they nailed it down, and they decided this is going to be our game. So, they wanted it out by Christmas, because it was going to be big for Christmas. The only problem was that to do it by Christmas, it had to be developed from start to finish in 5 weeks.
How long does it normally take to do an old-looking video game like that?
Well, now it takes years, but back then 5 weeks was just inside the realm of doable.
Yeah, but okay, because it was just like pixels. I mean, like Asteroids was just like a little blip. And,
Right, but they were
Yeah.
doing it with, I mean, older technology.
Oh,
Also.
okay, that's true.
I mean, now it would be fine, but they were dealing with machine language. And that
So
sort of
what
thing.
you're saying is, back in them days, everybody had a Tandy. It's not just me, right?
No. Okay. That was the cutting edge back then.
Okay.
We've all moved on, but hey. So
Tandy was black, white, and green. Okay.
So they got a designer named Howard Scott Warshaw. And by the way, it was 5 weeks, one guy.
Oh.
Which I'm not sure why they only got one guy, but they got one guy.
Way to go, Howard.
Yeah. So, well, now...
Wait. No, okay. No, so they paid Spielberg $25 million, and they just gave it to one guy.
Right.
Okay, all right.
The guy they gave it to developed the game called Yar's Revenge, which to this day is probably the most playable Atari 2600 game to this day. It's still pretty fun.
What was it? What did it involve? Was there jousting involved?
No, it was Yar's Revenge. It was a space fly. To quote the Wikipedia entry, the hero is an insect-like creature called a Yar who must nimble or shoot through a barrier in order to fire his Zorlon cannon into the breach. The objective is to destroy the evil Quoddle, which exists on the other side of the barrier. The Quoddle can shoot at the Yar even if the barrier is undamaged by turning into the Swirl. The player is warned before the shot is fired and can retreat a safe distance to dodge the enemy's energy blast. The neutral zone is a field in the center of the zone where the Yar can hide from the pursuing enemy torpedo, but where the Yar cannot shoot. The Swirl can kill the Yar anywhere, even inside the neutral zone. Each level ends with the destruction of the Quoddle or the Swirl. Odd number levels have a stationary shield protecting the Quoddle. Even number levels have a rotating shield protecting the Quoddle. A destroyer missile follows the player faster as the levels progress. Basically, it was a license port. It began as a license port of the arcade game Star Castle.
Okay.
If that helps.
Okay.
Well, okay, so,
All right.
so
It was
Howard,
a really popular game.
Howard did it, and Howard took the reins.
Howard took the reins.
So then what happened?
Disaster.
What?
did
How?
he have a?
How
like
could
a,
it be a disaster? E.T. was huge. E.T. was on everybody's lips. It was E.T. this, E.T. that. Come on.
Did Howard have a personal disaster? I mean, is it something we should feel sorry for?
Well, he had a personal disaster in that he had 5 weeks to develop a multi-million-dollar game.
No,
that
I mean,
was,
like,
did
the
whole
his grandmother
company's...
die? I mean, did he have, like, maybe his cat got sick or something? I don't know.
No. He ate a lot of ramen and got a game finished.
Okay.
Like a trooper, Howard
Like a
pulled
trooper.
through.
He got it done. All
right.
Yeah.
Let me just read from Snopes here.
Sure.
The sheer awfulness of the finished product was unprecedented. Atari rushed E.T. through development in a matter of weeks to get it on the market in time for Christmas, and the result was something many consumers found to be a virtually unplayable game with a dull plot and crummy graphics, which frustrated players who spent most of their time leading the E.T. character around circles to prevent him from falling into pits.
That was it.
I
Wait,
remember.
Wasn't that Pitfall, basically? Did he just rip off Pitfall?
No, Pitfall was awesome.
Yeah.
The pits he would fall, it's all very two-dimensional. It's
Right. Well, yeah, Pitfall was, it had a foreground and a background, but E.T. was just like
yes, it's
very flat.
Very flat.
It was like you were looking at it from above as if you were an alien, but not successfully.
I found a YouTube video of somebody playing this game.
Yeah.
And we're going to link to it on the show notes.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I really want to see this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. It's much easier to watch
I'm
somebody.
looking at a screenshot of it. It's, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's really something. So anyway, Atari thought this could not fail, so they made 5 million ET cartridges, which for the time was huge. Actually, it wasn't the biggest, though. They made 12 million Pac-Man cartridges, even though there were only 10 million Atari 2600s, figuring that everybody would get it, and people who didn't get it would get the game machine to get the cartridge.
Oh,
That didn't go well. So here comes ET with 5 million. According to Atari's then president and CEO, nearly all of them came back.
Oh, really? Nearly all.
They say the statement was a bit of an exaggeration, but Atari was once again stuck with millions of unsold cartridges. They basically took a bath on about 3 million Pac-Man cartridges, and they took a bath on about 3.5 million ET cartridges.
Well, couldn't they recycle the cartridges? Like, just
No.
rewrite
This was the 80s. He didn't recycle. Come on.
They weren't rewritten about ROMs. They were burn-once ROMs.
Yeah,
So,
but you
no.
could take the chipset out and use the cartridge and put the chipset, a new chipset back in, right?
Well, they glued those things together.
Well,
Remember the Atari 2600
I
cartridge?
do.
It didn't have any screws.
That is an error
those
on their
things
part.
were.
Okay.
Yeah, those things were handled roughly, as I recall. I mean, kids would throw them, and they were built to last. Those things, man.
They still work to this very day. Keep in mind at the time, those things cost $30 a crack in 1980. Yeah, $1982.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, considering that, games cost 60, that's only twice as much, but, and they're much, much better now.
I know. I remember fondly my very favorite game. It was Commander Ashtar Conquers Venus, and it was just what do you call it was like a crosshairs and just the center, and you just shot flying saucers, and that's all you did. It was great. Thanks, Commander Ashtar.
Is there nothing you can't make better?
Well, maybe it should have been E.T. teaming up with Commander Ashtar to stay out of pits and solve math
That
problems.
was Howard's fault.
Okay.
E.T. had the unprecedented occurrence of people taking it back and demanding their money back.
That happened. Okay.
Yeah, and this was time before if there was a bug. Now they can push a patch over the internet. Yeah, once the ROM was burned, it was burned. So.
Well, I'm kind of so you could actually take back and demand your money back if you just didn't like the product. That seems a little bit.
I don't know how many actually
That's
got
crazy.
I mean,
I don't like this. It's not proper quality. I want my money back.
I mean, that doesn't really happen now, does it? With anything? I mean, sure
It does.
If you get a defective DVD, you can take it back and they'll give you a new one. But if you don't like the movie, you can't demand your money back, can you?
Well,
Sure
no,
you can.
but this
Yeah,
thing
you
was so
can.
bad people tried.
Okay.
If you're persistent enough, any manager of Kmart will gladly cave to your, $30.
Keep in mind, your kid is crying because the cartridge that you paid like $150 for and that time's money
Right.
sucked so bad that the kid was crying and you wanted your money back.
In
And yes,
public. Crying
Yes.
in public.
and the guy at Sears didn't really want to deal with you, so
That's
sure,
right.
here's your money back.
Are there any commercials on YouTube advertising this thing before Christmas?
No, but there are plenty of YouTube videos of children crying.
Right, okay. Make your own, Pontius.
Make your own.
Actually, there are. Towerbot, play misleading Atari commercial number 1.
Hello? Somebody out there? E.T. Video game?
E.T. is the Atari video game cartridge you have to buy separately to play on the Atari video computer system. Your parents hook it up to the TV. It's the video game that lets you help E.T. get home.
Bye, E.T.
This is the Atari video computer system. E.T. and other video game cartridges are each sold separately.
Anyway, a lot of stores ordered this in bulk, and they returned it in bulk. So a lot of them were, the boxes that they came in were even unopened because there just was no demand after a while.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Because I do remember the
It reminds me of my first album.
Side note, Paul and I got drunk one night and threw a bunch of them off of the 2nd Street Bridge. But that was our distribution deal, man. It was a way to get them down to Mexico. Anyway, okay. It kind of reminds me because E.T. was insane. I mean, it's all people talked about. People were buying little plastic E.T.
You know, I even wanted a red jacket after I saw E.T.
I wanted a flying bicycle, and my dad wouldn't.
I wanted an alien
to keep in my closet. Boy,
yeah,
but
and
anyway,
maybe a little sister. No,
it kind of reminds me of like in the lead up to the Phantom Menace coming out. You kept seeing all the marketing for the Phantom Menace, and you saw Jar Jar Binks' picture on everything because people just knew it was going to be huge because it was Star Wars and Star Wars sells. And then no one bought anything. So there's probably a landfill full of Jar Jar Binks chairs right now too, I'm thinking. Sorry, I went way off topic. Go back. Go.
Well, in 1983, the Alamogordo Daily News of Alamogordo, New Mexico, ran a series of articles that said between 10 and 20 semi-trailer truckloads of Atari boxes, cartridges, and systems from a Atari storehouse in El Paso, Texas, were crushed and buried at the landfill within the city.
Crushed?
Well, yes. A lot of the equipment would have been crushed, but a lot of people thought the cartridges would still be good.
Because, as we said, they were made to last. They were made to be indestructible with kids with their sticky peanut butter hands and snotty noses. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial in the middle.
The dental work was terrible. Anyway, and the New York Times also reported this. Quote, the company has dumped 14 truckloads of discarded game cartridges and other computer equipment into the city sandfield at Alamogordo, New Mexico. Guards kept reporters and spectators away from the area as workers poured concrete over the dumped merchandise.
Wait, this is a news report from the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was like an E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial time capsule of Atari.
Yes, a big, expensive, unwanted time capsule.
Very expensive time capsule.
Wow. Whenever alien archaeologists come to this planet in a million years, that's the only thing that's still going to be here is these E.T. video games encased in concrete, and they're going to chip them away like they chip fossil. Like dinosaur fossils out of the rock, and they'll.
No, we're gonna get to them way before that, just for the copper that's in the circuit boards.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, this Atari kept denying it, but people kept talking, and people in the know, and it was more or less basically decided that yes, they did actually bury 3.5 million cartridges in a landfill.
Wow, so it was confirmed. They confirmed it.
It was never confirmed by the company. But people in the know.
But they sort of like winked whenever people asked them, right?
Well, no, that didn't happen. No,
the PR people basically wanted this to just go away.
All right, but people in the know knew.
Yeah. Since it's always been a rumor ever since then that, that's just kind of one of the urban legends almost at this point. But there's an intrepid group of filmmakers on April 26th of this month who are going to dig them up, or try to dig them up if they're there, and the public is invited to watch.
Really? April 26th? That's
April 26th.
Only days away from today.
Only days.
Are they going to have like jackhammers to get through the concrete and all that? Or?
Well, it's going to be broadcast on the Xbox Entertainment System.
Whoa. So is it gonna be like Geraldo Rivera and Al Capone's vault? I mean, is there going to be anything there?
Maybe, maybe not. The director of the project, Zach Penn, said that other than garbage and the truth, I have no idea what we'll find. I think that's what's exciting, but we won't know what's down there until they start digging.
Other than garbage and the truth, I don't know what we're going to find.
Garbage and the truth. That's
okay.
right.
And an alien who is still alive. Commander Ashtar. All right, I got to write my next letter. Dear Commander Ashtar, are you buried beneath the Alamogordo Desert?
No, that's the ET cartridges.
Well, he might be there. Alamogordo. I don't know how you spell that.
Now this is going to take place when? April what?
26th.
Oh, so audience, by the time you're hearing this may have already happened. So,
no, it'll be 4 days from when they hear this.
Yeah.
Well, if they're anything like me, they don't listen to the podcast till weeks later.
Days from now, it'll happen. You think Commander Ashtar would be offended if I misspelled his name Ashtart?
If we've learned anything, Ashtart is all forgiving. It's totally cool, dude.
Ashtart. Oh, so sorry.
He understands and loves you.
Anyway, so
hey, Dave.
Wait.
Whenever they wait. No, me first. Whenever they dig up the ET games, are they going to be cosplaying as Elliot and ET? Like, are they all going to be wearing like the red sweat shirts, or will they be wearing like white towel shrouds?
Or will they all be dressed as Indiana Jones? Wow.
So, a bit of geek lore may be put to rest or confirmed.
So, what do you think, Dave? Do you believe that they are there? You know?
I think I think there are. I don't know if there's as many as people might have said, but I think yes, they got rid of a lot. Because that was kind of the way to do things back then. Apple actually dumped a bunch of Lisa computers out in a landfill.
But did they cover it in concrete?
They had guards to keep people from digging through it.
You know what I hope they
really
do is...
Yeah, keep in mind this was before recycling and before everything got scarce. The best way to take a loss is to make sure nobody else got it, and the best way to do that was just to dump it and bury it.
Huh. Wow. So just cover it in cement. Yeah, that's the part that I'm really surprised by. Like, why would Atari cover it and go to the trouble of covering it in cement?
They didn't want people to get the games for free, maybe?
Well, it would flood the market with, A, a crappy game, and B, probably a crappy game that's broken.
All right. Anyway, so I'm very excited. I'm actually really, really, really curious to know.
So we'll follow this up when we know more. It'll be on the Xbox One and Xbox 360 sometime in 2014. The documentary will.
So if you have an opinion about this whole Atari fiasco or Atari lore, you should write us at towergram@gmail.com and let us know what your theory is. Or you could call us at 502-286-9372. We would love to hear from you.
Good news! I found the E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial Atari 2600 video game on eBay.
How much
really?
is it?
There's one bid for $25. Huh. So it's $5 cheaper than it was in 1980.
Oh, I bet you could go to any Goodwill and probably find it in a dusty corner somewhere.
Wow, that's amazing.
E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. $1.99 at DK Oldies.
See?
Ooh, okay, all right.
And actually, there's some ports that you can play it online. So, if you dare.
God, I still wish I had my Atari 2600.
Well, maybe you can get one from eBay or a Goodwill store, or
I really miss my Atari 6400. Isn't that what it was? Not Atari, Commodore 64.
Commodore, yeah.
I miss my black TV. A lot of fun hours spent with that.
You're blacking off TV.
Yeah. Just sitting there listening. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm not sure it was a TV. Maybe it was just a radio, and my dad told me that it was a TV.
Lies our parents told us.
A lot of pegs are falling into slots here as I'm thinking back to that time. Okay. Yeah.
You know, let's pause here and give the repeater a break to ponder his early, scarring childhood memories.
Hi, I'm Brian from Movie Meltdown. Will you be an angel for a helpless episode? Every day, innocent episodes are abused, neglected, and left without someone to download them. And they're crying out for help. Please go to MovieMeltdown.com and download as many of these lovable episodes as you can. It costs you nothing to download them and rescue them from obscurity. With that simple act of kindness, you provide them with the attention they so desperately need, the shelter of a warm MP3 player, and love. Right now, there's an episode that needs you. Your download says, I'm here to help. Go to MovieMeltdown.com and do your part to rescue an innocent episode. Thank you.
Makes sense. Moving on.
Bigfoot Roundup. Ay-ya-ay-ya.
Okay, we can make this quick. Bigfoot Roundup. Guys, Kentucky Slim Conrad, I think we can finally stick a fork into the story of old homeless Hank.
Really? Is he done? Is he done?
He's finally done. Now, okay, for people who maybe don't know, and I don't know why you wouldn't know if you listen to this crappy show, it's a story we've been talking about for well over a year now. Well, I've been talking about, to be honest, with Kentucky Slim.
We've been tolerating it.
Kentucky Slim and Conway could not care less. Am I right? Anyway.
You are.
Back in September of 2012 in San Antonio, Texas, in a homeless camp directly behind a Home Depot located directly off of the interstate in a very populated area, one insane redneck named Rick Dyer says that he shot and killed an 8-foot-tall Bigfoot. And he named his dead Bigfoot Hank because supposedly one of the investors supporting his Bigfoot hunting career was singer Hank Williams III. Of course, if insane redneck Rick Dyer did in fact shoot and kill anything in a homeless camp, everyone here at the tower sort of assumed that it was, a homeless person. Just saying.
No, Occam's razor.
Yeah. For the past year, this insane redneck has been saying that he now has a real dead body, and we can all suck it because he has proven Bigfoot is real and shut up all of the naysayers, and he's going to be a gazillionaire any day now as soon as a group of unnamed doctors finish examining the body. Yeehaw. And as we all know, insane redneck Rick Dyer started to take around his dead Bigfoot body in a trailer he bought at Lowe's. It was part of his quote-unquote I told you so tour, where he would pull into parking lots in the Southwest and charge people $10 to view the corpse laying inside a plexiglass coffin surrounded by camo baseball hats sporting Dyer's company logo. See, it's totally real! Now, the big hook for this story, the reason that people kept thinking that there might be some grain of truth to it, is apparently the whole shooting, the whole disaster, the whole nefarious deed was captured on film by a BBC documentary crew that was with Dyer when he was in Texas. And throughout this whole sad drama, Dyer kept saying that people would see him shoot and kill a real Bigfoot in HD whenever the movie finally gets released. Of course, the problem is it's been over a year and it's never been released here in the good old U.S. of A. But guess what, guys?
Wait. In HD?
In HD!
Holy crap. Holy crap on a cracker.
Roscosmos HD. Now, but guess what, guys? I have seen this movie. I've finally seen this movie. And it's all thanks to our English correspondent, Mark Cockram. Hello, Mark Cockram, listening in England. Hello, everybody wave to Mark right now, okay?
God bless you, Mark.
Okay, because you see, The documentary, which was shot by the BBC film crew, was shown on BBC4, and Mark had been listening to me rant and rave about this guy for over a year, so he recorded it for me and sent it to me. And actually, a little inside wiffle ball here, Kentucky Slim lives in a different state, so he wasn't able to come over and watch it. But Conduit and I both watched this movie.
Yes, by the way, I set aside my Bigfoot fatigue to watch this because I had heard so much about this movie from people.
You had heard, you had heard that you would see HD footage of a real dead Bigfoot being killed at the end of this movie, and it would inspire you to jump on a plane to Texas, seek out insane redneck Rick Dyer, give him $10 to go into his secret trailer and see the body underneath the plexiglass coffin. Right?
$10 and a hearty handshake.
And a hearty handshake. Tip of the cowboy hat to insane redneck Rick Dyer. Now,
insane redneck.
Now, it is the Bigfoot that we see in this movie that insane redneck Rick Dyer claims is the exact same body that he's been dragging around in his trailer. And if you remember back in January, he was all over the news with this. And he was making very heartfelt and sincere statements, which such as, and I quote, "Bigfoot is 100% real. There's no question about it. And every test that can possibly be imagined has been performed on the body. From DNA tests to 3D optical scans to body scans, it's the real deal. It's Bigfoot. It's here. I shot it, and now I'm proving it to the world. Yeehaw." And he also said, Bigfoot is not a tooth fairy. Bigfoot is real. So... And this is the weird thing. He kept getting on the news with this damn thing, and the whole time, it was like the news was listening to him and giving him time, giving him credit, but the whole thing was you'll see it whenever the movie came out. So the movie came out. Dave, what did you think when you saw the HD footage?
I wondered if the director was in on the hoax or was hoaxed himself.
You're saying it was a hoax? What?
Oh, yeah, that was given.
Yeah, this, Polly, I'm going to have to get this to you. That's
okay.
It's like he was there, man.
It's a study in...
I feel like I've heard enough.
Well, it's just... It's amazing from a human nature point of view to just see how vile and unlikable a person can actually be.
That was the kind of thing. The movie was actually more about the hunters than the hunt for Bigfoot itself.
Yeah.
It was more about the people who actually hunt.
Absolutely. This was not about Bigfoot, what Bigfoot might be, but audience, for professional reasons, I don't believe in Bigfoot, but I am fascinated by the insane nut jobs who go out there looking for it. And I believe Towerbot even has a clip from insane redneck Rick Dyer pulled from the movie just to really show how unlikable and vile this person really is. Dave,
he was very gleeful about it.
Do we need to set the scene for this, by the way?
The people here, the people here, Rick Dyer is driving the director of the movie around, and his, what would you say, about 5-year-old daughter is in the back seat?
Yeah, he
five-ish,
had
6.
just went and picked her up from school, and he's driving her home. Yeah,
and he's talking to her, and the British voice you'll hear is the documentarian. So should we go ahead and play it?
Yeah.
Daddy, Bigfoot is real.
Yeah, of course Bigfoot's real.
Okay.
You know Bigfoot's real.
Why'd you ask that, Audrey?
Because I don't know.
You don't know if he's real?
No.
Why? Did some people tell you he's not?
My mom told me that.
I'm fixing to prove it to you. It's real. Daddy has seen Bigfoot with his own eyes. Do you believe Daddy?
Yes.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Okay.
Because I love you.
Okay.
Now, is Bigfoot real?
Yes.
Okay. Bigfoot's real.
But guess what? Breaking news! Despite what he told his daughter, he has admitted that homeless Hanks is a hoax, a fake body, a gaffe, a lie. A lie! He lied to his daughter!
And by the way, I just want to point out two things.
Yes.
One, the daughter's mother must be like Tinkerbell or something, because for him to have such a cute daughter, you know the genetics had to be way the other direction in the mother, because that girl is so darn cute, and he is so not. And the other thing, we don't have the visuals, of course, but while he's talking to her, he's driving his big ass truck, and he's turned around and talking to her she's in the back seat. He's turned around and talking to her, not looking where he's driving. He even makes a turn at one point, and he's looking at her while he's turning the car or the truck.
And he's wearing a big ass cowboy hat, so you know his peripheral vision is compromised.
That drives me nuts, but anyway.
But this is a perfect example of this guy. He will even use his daughter. He will exploit his daughter,
his adorable daughter,
to perpetrate a lie and scam money out of people. People see this and they'll be like, "Oh, he swore to his daughter that it's real, and he wouldn't lie to that cute little girl. So yeah, I'm going to give him $200 for a DVD because this must be real." But no, it's finally come out. Insane Redneck Rick Dyer has admitted that he had the body made, and this all came about because there was a falling out between Dyer and one of his hired hands. They got into a big fight in Daytona Beach when nobody came to watch to look at the big prop, and they had this big huge argument, and they were threatening lawsuits, and so finally the one guy went to the media and said, "Hey, the Bigfoot is fake," and then Insane Redneck Rick Dyer went to Facebook and admitted that it was fake, and so now it's all just a big heap of lies. And is anyone surprised?
Nope.
God, the funny thing is they've tracked down the guy who made it. His name is Chris Russell, he owns this prop company in Washington State, and he admitted that he made the prop, but he said that he was lied to by Dyer. Apparently, Dyer told him that the body was going to be used in a film about killing a Bigfoot, and it was going to be like a prop in it. And according to this guy, Dyer also wanted him to create a baby Bigfoot and a female Bigfoot, but by that point, he had gotten wise to all the crazy shenanigans, and he kind of didn't want to do it, So you know, it's all gone, and the funny thing is now Dyer is laughing at everyone who actually believed him, because he was like, "How can you be so stupid to believe that Bigfoot is real?" And again, I point to his daughter, where he said, "I love you, and I wouldn't lie to you, and Bigfoot is real." So yeah, Homeless Hank. I think we can finally put an end to Homeless Hank.
And laughing all the way to the bank with 5 cents.
Oh man, there's actually a online petition now at
change.org to have him arrested?
To have him charged with fraud. It's a petition
thank God.
To the U.S. Department of Justice or something, and they're getting the signatures. So I'll put the link up onto the Tower site. And if you have a few hours free this weekend or a minute, why don't you sign the petition to have this insane maniac arrested?
Removed from society.
Now, you may be asking, what's the big deal? Why is he getting so much flack when other sideshow hacks are not? Why isn't the guy at the county fair showing off the alligator lady getting hauled off? Well, there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm going to go over them really, really quickly. It's basically the question of, do you guys think hoaxing is a crime? What do you guys think?
If it's asking for money, then yes.
I think you put your finger on it, yeah.
That's fraud, actually, if you're presenting something as something else to gain money from it.
And unlike some sideshow hack guy, part of the problem... Okay, here's one of the reasons why. He said that a BBC documentary crew filmed it and filmed him shooting it. It wasn't a BBC reality show. It wasn't a movie company. It was a documentary unit. So it gave his story legitimacy. In a weird way, it backed up all of his excuses. And Also, unlike the other sideshow crazies, Dyer kept insisting that his Bigfoot body had been medically examined with DNA results and body images, and there was going to be a press conference in February. And for some reason, these claims were enough to get Dyer live interviews on TV news programs, not just in America, but in Australia, Asia, Trinidad. He was on the freaking Trinidad version of the Today Show.
Is that special?
Well, it's just
is the Trinidad news?
Well, I just think it's amazing that each news program he was on, the TV news shows never took him to task or asked him why his body looked like a fake prop. It's like each of them were just kind of took the attitude of, okay, cool, we look forward to your press conference. So it just, again, gave this air of credibility to it that made the more gullible members of our society fall for it even more and give him money. And again, as you may recall, he was supposedly selling DVDs of this for $200 each. And people were actually sending him in money. And the really big thing, which I think should blow up in his face. Remember how he got the trailer from Home Depot and he decorated it and he had his big face on it and Bigfoot on it and all that. Whenever he toured around with this trailer, he had logos from reputable news networks like CNN, National Geographic, BBC, Discovery Channel.
Well, I think CNN is kind of a stretch.
Well, still, it created this false legitimacy. Again, it basically made people who didn't follow this Dyer saga believe that his claims had the seal of approval from the National Geographic Society. So I think these TV networks should at least prosecute Dyer for stealing their logos and tarnishing whatever reputation they had. But anyway, point of the story is Mark Cochran, thank you again so much for sending me this movie. By the way,
yeah, thanks, Mark.
By the way, he sent it.
Thanks a lot.
He sent it on a DVD, and he didn't even bother writing on it, so it was like a blank DVD. I think he may be a little bit embarrassed by it. I don't know.
That got it through customs.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mark, thank you so much. Hopefully, I can. I'll send you something. It'll be like a pen pal thing, you know. All right, I got nothing. Bigfoot's dead. We've killed him. We can move on finally. Our long national nightmare is over.
Hooray.
I will swear I will never talk about Bigfoot again unless I can't think of anything else to talk about on the podcast. Daddy wouldn't lie to you. Daddy loves you.
Okay.
Of course Bigfoot's real. Now give me all your money. Jeez. By the way, Dyer keeps being evicted out of his Section 8 housing. He was in Las Vegas, and he was in San Antonio. I think he's now hiding out at his in-laws in Arkansas. That was the last thing the Internet told me. But anyway.
That was the last ping the Internet had?
Yeah, exactly. All righty. Well, now what do we do?
I don't know.
Mark, send me some more DVDs so I can have something else to talk about.
Actually, yeah, that'd be good. Actually, if anyone out there in podcast land would like to send us a DVD to watch and get our take on it, send it to us at, where do we have him send it to?
Physical things? I don't think we have a place.
We don't have a physical address at the tower.
We do?
Yeah.
The mailman keeps getting eaten.
Actually, you know what? Mark didn't know our physical address. Do you know what he wrote on it? What? He wrote on the plain brown wrapper. I can't stress that enough. He wrote on the plain brown wrapper. I'm not kidding. United States of apostrophe America. He actually wrote that on the envelope, and it got to me.
That's great.
Well done, Mark. Well done, Mark.
Well
Cochran.
done.
Well done. Okay.
You need to take a photo of that.
I will.
All right, and we'll post that up on Facebook. All right. Well, anyway, again, you can find us on Facebook, and you can find us at You can leave us a message at 502-286-9372 or 502-2Tower2, or you can write us a very long, creepy email at towergram@gmail.com.
The creepier, the better.
The creepier, the better.
And just remember, Podians,
just shy of any kind of police involvement.
Just remember, Podians, we love you. We would never lie to you. No. Now get me a beer.
Hope you carbon-based units enjoyed this episode. If you did, do us a solid and rate us on iTunes. If you'd like to spout a half or fully baked opinion, email us at towergram@gmail.com or call us at 502-286-9372 or 502-2Tower2. Tower of Technobabble is sponsored by Panorama Creative Group. Y'all come back now, you hear?
I need to get my shawl, and then I'll be ready. It's chilly down in the basement tonight. Yeah, okay. All right.
My little babushka.
It's like another episode of Rosemary and Thyme.
Oh, my mom loves that show.
I also love it.
I haven't actually seen it. But...
Felicity Kendall is adorable.
You're talking about the woman that I love.
Well, why don't, Ben, you start, and we're going to use the cat out of the bag reference. I'll be looking for the cat.
Okay. You mean to let the cat out of the bag, you mean?
Yeah, just start with your usual zaniness, and I'll be in the background saying, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Start with your usual zaniness.
Okay. I got something. I jotted down. Okay.
You know what this is? You know what this is? It's a madcap screwball romp.
A romp.
Ben, only say that because you're money. It's like, you're a go-to.
Crisscross will make you.